Yo. What's going on, my people? It is March 26th, 2024. It's your boy Chris, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA show where I'm live on Twitter, also live on YouTube as well. We have just a short 4-game NBA slate for tonight. Make sure my mic right. All right. We have a short NBA slate for tonight. So did some deep diving. I got a couple looks that I want to share with you guys that I haven't quite placed yet, but probably gonna get to the window with. And yeah, we're just gonna do just that, man. Hit the like button for me as you can. Let's jump into the show and figure out if we can find where the money at for today. First, well, yesterday I gave out I sent out one play to the members on an 11-game slate, man, which was Boston first half, and they even blew the 30-point lead yesterday. Lost the game outright to the Atlanta Hawks after going up by 30 in the first half. But 1-0 day in the membership. Glad I stayed away from some of those spots because it was a crazy day yesterday with a lot of the dogs not just covering but winning games outright. Puts us back over 40 units for the season as well. First game on the board for today, we got the Golden State Warriors. They will be in Miami. Really trying to say their season, man. Really trying to say their season. I saw a fake news report yesterday. I'll start the game off by saying this. I saw a fake report from Adrian Wojnarowski, like his parody account that said that Draymond Green had gotten into an altercation with Steve Kerr and ultimately ended up with Steve Kerr being put in a headlock. And this was like right after I handicapped the game yesterday evening. And I told myself, I was like, well, I guess I can't bet on Golden State. But it turned out to be fake news. after I looked a little deep into it, I saw that it wasn't real. But I was prepared to like clip the tweet and put it on the show and everything. But that's not the case. So what is the case is we get a Golden State team, 1 day's rest, coming off that bad loss against the Minnesota Timberwolves. They actually had a chance to win that game. The Golden State Warriors on the road, even with the loss in Minnesota, they are 22-11 against the spread on the road. You get a Miami team that's just 13-21 against the spread at home. And granted, they're coming off a really big win at home against the Cleveland Cavaliers on Sunday. So both of these teams, same amount of rest. I like Golden State in this spot. I like Golden State. I feel like I know Golden State is kind of like dropping the ball, but it's a ton of reasons. I don't feel like they've given up on the season. Went through and watched the post-game interviews. Draymond Green calling out the defense. Steph Curry saying he thinks that the season is not lost quite yet, but it's slipping away. God damn it. It's very, very much so slipping away. Houston Rockets won last night. Again, we keep saying that on this show. They're 10-0 straight up, 10-0 against the spread in their last 10 games out of Houston Rockets, and they find themselves just a half a game behind the Golden State Warriors for their last place in the Western Conference play-in tournament. So, Golden State got to tighten up, man. Last 2 weeks, I went into some numbers as well. It's not the greatest spot for Golden State in this spot as far as like X's and O's. The last 2 weeks, they are not shooting as many threes, though, which we could see some reverse of that because the Heat give up a ton of threes. So we could see Golden State kind of get back to their roots. But the last 2 weeks, Golden State's actually taken about 45% of their shots from the mid-range, where Miami's actually bottom 3 in opponent long mid-range accuracy. So Golden State should be able to take advantage there. But the Miami Heat got an advantage as well because Golden State been giving up a ton. And Trace Jackson Jr. is listed as questionable in this game. And they're going to need him. I think they're absolutely going to need him. They're going to need Kevon Looney if he's not able to go. Golden State got to win this game. They got to win this game. Couple angles to kind of support Golden State as well. They are 5-1 straight up and against the spread as short road favorites. 3 points or less. They typically win those games. They're 5-0 straight up in the last 5 as well. And you get a Miami team that's 0-8 straight up, 1-7 against the spread as home dogs this season. So Miami has not been profitable as a dog, as a short favorite they have, which is what we saw in that last game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. But as the dog, they have not been. They do have a couple guys that are listed on the injury report. Of course, Jaime Jaquez Jr. didn't play in the game on Sunday. And I think Caleb Martin did play. But both of those guys are listed as questionable. They still be without Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, and Kevin Love, of course, as well. The other thing that you really don't like for Golden State, but also is a motivational factor, at least from my perspective, is Golden State this is the first leg of a back-to-back. They actually got the Magic tomorrow. So if they don't beat the Heat today, you probably can kiss Christmas. You're probably not beating an Orlando team at home that's been at the crib for like 3 games that's dominating the rebounds, and that's looking like they're one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. So I think Golden State got to get this win today to at least put themselves back up, at least a full game over the Houston Rockets. So I don't like that for Golden State as much, but I do think it could be, it's definitely part of my handicap. And also, in my opinion, Miami, they're not as good as this Minnesota Timberwolves team that the Golden State Warriors just lost to on Sunday. And in my opinion, if Coach Kerr had I watched that game. If Coach Kerr had put Steph back in, I think that they could have potentially won that game. Now, he did come out with I would say, pretty unsmart quote about, we can't just ride Steph Curry. Well, you can if you want to make the playoffs. You absolutely gonna have to do so because we can see that some of these other guys are not reliable. Klay Thompson is a shell of himself, but this is a game where I feel like Klay could have a big game just because Miami does not defend the three well. Miami defends the paint well because they have Bam Adebayo. So Golden State got a bunch of shooters. I think we see the desperation in this game, and I do like the Warriors, man. I haven't put the bet in yet. When I looked at it last night, it was minus 125 on the money line on ESPN bet. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to sleep on it. So I haven't placed it yet. On the Miami side, like I said, 1 day's rest is a third straight home game for them. They actually don't play again until they host the Portland Trailblazers on Friday. So no look-ahead spot at all. This is not necessarily the best spot to fade Miami. But Golden State's just 1-3 against the spread in their last 4 games. And like I said, it's the first leg of a back-to-back. So I couldn't find a ton to support Miami outside of, Golden State's defense has been pretty bad over the last 2 weeks. But I feel like they got to fix it today. This is a Warriors spot, in my opinion. Only way I'm looking to play it is taking the Warriors. And if I take them, it's going to be on the money line. I don't think that the spread is going to move a lot. It might move in favor of Miami once Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Caleb Martin get rolled in later. So I just want that's the way I would look at this game. I didn't handicap the total at all. Golden State continues to go over these low totals, and Miami's defense, I think, while it has been good, it's been a little bit better on the road. So it's not a game that I feel comfortable, taking the total. It opened at 219, it went down to 218.5, and now it's back up to 219. So I'll stay off there. Other thing I wanted to mention real quick, and this has nothing to do with this game. The other thing I wanted to mention is I couldn't, and if you've been watching the show for a while, I'm a pretty cautious bettor. Like I like to know everything about the game before I place the bet. I like to do all my due diligence. And the one thing that you can't handicap all the time is what the injury report is going to look like, and like the closing injury report. And that's something that has really taken its toll. If you guys, it was 11 games yesterday. Not a lot of them, but a handful of them were impacted by injuries late. Guys getting rolled out 5-10 minutes before the game. So I've been waiting to put my bets in, like to give my official bets to the members. And I would caution you guys to do the same. We saw this happen with Cade Cunningham. We saw it happen with Jalen Duren over the last few games. Yesterday it was Denny Avdia, who was downgraded to questionable and then listed out like 10 minutes and then 5 minutes before the game. So, it's a lot going on in the NBA, man. I'm not sure if it's gambling involved or not, but take your time is what I always say. All right, so next game up, we got the Lakers, my Lakers, and the Milwaukee Bucks. This line actually opened with the Lakers getting 5 points yesterday in Milwaukee, and the total was at 234. LeBron James is listed as doubtful, of course, as the world knows now, and this total comes down 2 points, down to 232. And the spread jumps all the way up to 9. You guys see 8.5. As I was making right after I made the graphic, it went up to 9. So, it's gonna be difficult without LeBron in this one. So you get a Laker team, 1 day's rest. This is the first road game on the East Coast after 4 straight home games. The Lakers had actually been balling. They had actually won. They have actually won. A few games now at home. They're 6-4 straight up in their last 10, 5-5 against the spread in their last 10 as well. And they won 3 in a row and 5 of their last 7 as well. So the Lakers been hooping, but all of those games have primarily been at home. They've only played 1 game out of their last 10 on the road. And that 1 game was against the Sacramento Kings, and they got smoked. They were laying 2 points as a favorite. I think the Kings won the second leg of a back-to-back. They lost that game by 13. So this is not the greatest spot for the Lakers. Their offenses look good, but for whatever reason, The offense falters a lot when they go on the road and they're not able to score the ball as much. Also, their defense takes a bad step back, which they are 7-3 to the over in their last 10 games as well. The Lakers, however, are 3-3 straight up, 4-2 against the spread as road dogs in non-conference games this season. So they have been covering, but also just 1-3 straight up and against the spread in road games since the All-Star break. So they haven't necessarily performed that well on the road since the All-Star break. They also only just 2-5 against the spread as road dogs of 5 points or more. So these bigger numbers, they haven't necessarily been covering. And I looked into it without LeBron, not a lot. They're 5-4 straight up, 4-5 against the spread without LeBron playing this season. On the opposite side, you get a Milwaukee team, third straight home game. That's always a buy-on spot. They're 4-1 straight up and against the spread in their last 5 games. And this is a revenge spot. If you guys remember, on the 8th, which was about 2.5 weeks ago, the Lakers were 4-point dogs. Yeah, they were 4-point. Yeah, the Bucks were 4-point dogs, and that was the game that D'Lo turned into Steph Curry. The Lakers won that game 123-122, and so you get a major revenge spot here for the Bucks. The Lakers are also, I talked about them, their home road splits are almost like Golden State last year. They're just 12-20 straight up on the road, 13-19 against the spread on the road. So they haven't been covering on the road. I gave you guys the numbers, 2-5 against the spread on the road as a dog of 5 points or more. And what did I tell you guys? They're just 1-3 against the spread on the road since the All-Star break. So yeah, this team has not been playing well on the road. First of all, you absolutely gotta wait to see what's gonna happen with LeBron James, in my opinion. You can't just blindly take the Bucks, in my opinion. Think you absolutely have to, but I do think that a look towards the under is probably in play. I know that the Lakers have been going over. I do expect the Bucks to come in here, play some really good defense, which they have been since they've been back home. I don't think anybody is on the injury report that really matters for the Bucks team. Giannis should be in there. Chris Middleton, I think, is listed as probable as well. The Lakers 4-0 to the under in their last 4 games since the All-Star break on the road. So they, like I said, their offense does not play as well. Like I said, the Bucks defense playing a little bit better. However, the Lakers are 7-2 to the over without LeBron this season. So that does not bode well for that trend at all. And LeBron, like I said, hasn't been rolled out quite yet. But yeah, it's a 8.5 points laying with the Bucks, with the Lakers on the second. And I forgot to mention this as well. D'Lo is listed as questionable. He did miss that game against the Indiana Pacers on Sunday with an illness. But I think I would think that he's going to play, but not 100% sure there. So those are my thoughts. I didn't play the game. I think LeBron means that much to the spread that you definitely want to see if he plays or not. But him being listed as doubtful, definitely not a good sign when he's been listed as questionable for such a long time. If you got the 5 for the Bucks, you're probably good money, but I don't know what I'd do with the spread right now. I know what I do. I wait, and that's why I haven't played the game yet until I know the status of LeBron. So keeping it pushing, next game up, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. They will be in New Orleans today playing against the Pelicans. And they're laying 2 points now. This line, I think, opened at 1.5. And you see money come in on, opened at 1.5. You see money come in on OKC in this spot. Oklahoma City Thunder, they have 1 day's rest. It's the last game of a 3-game road trip. They coming off an absolute beatdown against the Milwaukee Bucks on Sunday. They are 7-3 straight up in their last 10, but just 2-8 against the spread in their last 10. Their offense is taking a step back. The defense feels like it's taking a step back. Just 4-6 straight up and against the spread is a short road favorite this season, which is what you see them as in this spot. And the Pelicans, the only reason I didn't play the Pelicans is because, of course, they don't have Brandon Ingram. I really want the Pelicans in this spot. The season series is 1-1. But OKC actually blew them out in New Orleans back on January 26th in the most recent matchup. New Orleans was laying 1.5 in that. OKC was laying 1.5 in that game. So I really wanted to get there with the Pelicans. You get them off 1 day's rest. It's also the first game back home off a 4-game road trip. And they're coming off an easy one against Detroit on Sunday. That was the AAU Zion game. And the Pelicans have been good at home. 20-13 straight up, 19-14 against the spread at home. 8-2 in their last 10 straight up, 6-3-1 against the spread in their last 10. As short home dogs, they are just 4-4 straight up, but they are 5-3 against the spread in this spot. This is going to be a very, very interesting game, man. I kind of feel like I wish I had just handicapped the game a little bit earlier so I could have got there on the total, because it opened at 226.5. You see it all the way down to 223. 223.5 out there as well. I feel like it's an under type game. The Pelicans have been top tier defensive team, and the Thunder, you would just have to think that they would be able to bounce back in this spot. And the Pelicans been, from a matchup perspective, well, let's talk about the Thunder's defense. So the Thunder's defense has not been as good since the All-Star break. You can go in and kind of look at the numbers. Their offense is also taking a slight step back as well. They're not shooting the ball as well, specifically from the three-point line. Now, when you think about how the Pelicans like to score, a lot of it is getting to the paint, and then they kick it to their three-point shooters. The Thunder's defense is due for some positive regression from the three-point line. Their defense has not been as great from the three-point line. And I think that should lend itself towards the under. The Pelicans also like to get out and run. They like to push the pace. One of the better teams in fast break frequency and efficiency. And the Thunder, they do a really good job of slowing down teams. They like to get out and run as well. So to me, everything kind of leans towards a under. These two teams don't like each other. Of course, this was the play-in matchup last season as well. So yeah, I think a lot of it goes towards the under. Both games this season have gone under. And the Pels 5-3 to the under as home dogs this season as well, including 4 straight. So I do think you get a fired up Pelicans team here. I think you get a fired up OKC team that needs to prove something to themselves after getting smoked against the Milwaukee Bucks as well. So under would still be the play. Definitely shop around, see if you get the 223.5 though. Over the 223 will be my recommendation here. Last game on the board for today, we got the Dallas Mavericks and the Sacramento Kings. This should be a really, really good one as well. You get a Dallas team. Well, Kings laying 1 point. This line opened at 1.5. Laying 1 point now. Total coming all the way down, and I definitely agree with the movement there. Opened at 237.5. It's down to 235, 234, just depending on where you shop at. I think I'll probably get there with the under. Haven't gotten there quite yet, but this total is dropping as we speak. And it's for a good reason. So both of these teams have been very, very good recently, and both of them have actually been playing defense. Both of them are in the second leg of a back-to-back. The Dallas Mavericks went into Utah, held Utah to 105 points. Dallas shot like 20% from the three-point line, still won the game by 10 points, and only needed 115 points to win and cover the spread yesterday. Excuse me. Now, on the Dallas side, while we're sticking on the Dallas side, all of those guys played heavy minutes yesterday. Luka Doncic, even Tim Hardaway Jr. off the bench, Kyrie, I think they all played between 35 to 40 minutes. But the Dallas Mavericks are good on the second leg of back-to-back games for whatever reason. And they're good on the road. I think that's the place to start. 20-14 straight up are the Dallas Mavericks on the road. And you really just need them to win the game. They're 22-12 against the spread on the road as well. 8-2 straight up and against the spread in their last 10 games. Here's where you get some pause on the Dallas side. Just 4-11 straight up, 7-8 against the spread as road dogs. So not always winning these games, not always covering these games are the Dallas Mavericks. They've actually lost the last 4 in this spot, but they are 6-5 straight up and 8-3 against the spread when they're unrested this season. So while they don't play well on the road, as dogs, they do play well when they're unrested this season. They're also 4-2 straight up, 6-0 against the spread when they're unrested on the road. So they have covered every single spread as an unrested team on the road this season. 6-0 against the spread out of Dallas Mavericks. Sacramento, flip it to them. Second leg of a back-to-back. Second game back home off the East Coast road trip. They did win and cover last night against the Philadelphia 76ers. This team is 21-13 at home. But while they win, they don't cover it. 12-20 against the spread at home. You really just need them to win the game in this spot. This is a bet where you probably just take the money line. The other thing I wanted to mention about Sacramento, second leg of a back-to-back, 6-6 straight up, 4-8 against the spread. Also just 1-5 against the spread when they're unrested at home this season. So the trends kind of point towards Sacramento. Point towards Dallas. The Kings also play heavy minutes. De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, who broke the record for most double-doubles, most consecutive double-doubles. I think it's like 55 in a row since the NBA-ABA merger back in like 1970-something. So he played big minutes. De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, I think, played the most minutes yesterday. And the head-to-head spot, Sacramento, they've won both matchups this season, and both games were played in Dallas. So this to me feels a little bit more like a Dallas Maverick spot. I don't really like playing teams that are coming out of the altitude in Utah. I looked into that as well, but those teams haven't necessarily. It wasn't anything to write home about, so I'm not even going to mention it. But I think Dallas can get the job here, get the job done, even in Sacramento. I do kind of feel like that. And Sacramento is hard to fade right now because the defense is actually showing up. They're playing some of the best basketball that they played throughout the season. But like I said, Dallas, man, I just kind of feel like both teams, really, really cooking right now. I kind of feel like Dallas should be able to get the job done here. I didn't play it. Like I said, that's the way I would look. Short road dog. I think that they can get the job done. I also like the under. I do think this is the under type game. Both of these teams really winning with their defense as of late. So double revenge spot for Dallas on the road. Lost both of their games at home, but they get a chance to go into Sacramento. And seeding is important for this game as well because both of these teams are trying to stay out of that play-in tournament as well. And it helped yesterday that Phoenix lost to the San Antonio Spurs for both of these teams, actually. So I think a look towards the under a little bit more than either of the other ones. You see Sacramento hold Philly to, I think Philly scored like 90-something points last night. So I think, not that Dallas offense looks anything like that, but this game could be one of those games where the pace is slowed down just a tad bit. And you see just a under type game with both teams playing heavy minutes last night. So agree with the movement coming down. Haven't placed the bet yet. And like I said, haven't placed any bet yet. But these are the top plays that I'm looking towards. And I would add the Dallas and Sacramento under as well. I talked about Golden State. I do think that desperation spot, harder to champion. You got to just come out and be able to beat this Miami team, especially playing on the first leg of a back-to-back with Orlando tomorrow. Golden State has historically struggled against Orlando, and Orlando has never been as good as they've been quite, in the recent past as they are right now. So I think Golden State absolutely got to win this game today. And also, like I said, Lakers and Bucks, I can't play anything in that game without knowing if LeBron's going to play or not. Maybe a look towards the under, even though the Lakers are 7-2 to the over without him. OKC and the Pelicans, under would be the play in that game, under 233.5. If I had to play it, and then Dallas and Sacramento, I would be looking towards the under in that game as well. Unders have been cashing, and these totals continue to drop. So that one may drop a little bit more too. So those are my thoughts and how I'm looking at the games today. I'll catch the comments offline. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. If you guys could do me a favor, hit the like button. It's only 4 games today. Hit the like button on the way out. Here's some resources that I use to kind of handicap the games. And yeah, bet responsibly. I'm whatever I lock in today and make official, I will send out to the members whenever I do. But and if you guys are interested, the link to all my official plays are in the description. If you guys want those, bet responsibly. Best of luck today, man. Enjoy the games. And I'm not sure if I'll be back for evening show. Maybe injury news. Potentially I could be back for evening show at 5 p.m. But just had the notifications on so you guys know if I do go live. Catch you guys in the next one. Appreciate everybody for tapping in as always. And I'll catch you guys later. I'm out.